Okay, in this video we're going to look at how to find the center, vertices, foci, and asymptote equations for a hyperbola. So example 1, find the center, vertices, foci, and the equations of the asymptotes of the hyperbola x minus 2 in parentheses squared over 4 minus y squared over 25 equals 1. Well, we can always graph this, and our center is going to be at 2, 0. So remember, we take whatever's after the x, take its opposite. So the opposite of negative 2 is 2, and with y we have nothing after that, so 0 for the y coordinate of the center. So 2, 0 as illustrated here in red. Now for the vertices, even though 25 is larger than 4, because the 4 has the positive sign in front of it and the 25 has the minus sign in front of that, we take a squared to equal the denominator of the positive term. So with hyperbolas, it's about what's positive that makes the impact that matters most. So if we set a squared equal to 4, we get a is plus or minus 2. And because the positive sign is in front of the x term and not in front of the y term, our hyperbola, as you can see in the graph, opens left and right. So this a value of 2, plus or minus 2, means from our center point, we're going to count 2 spaces to the right and 2 spaces to the left to get our vertices. So our vertices are going to be at 2 plus or minus 2, comma 0, which we have 0, 0, and 0, 4. Now for the foci, it's c squared is a squared plus b squared. And we have a squared has a value of 4, b squared has a value of 25. So c squared equals that sum, and if we take the square root of both sides, we get square root plus or minus the square root of 29, so about 5.5 or so. So in order to plot those points, we'll count about 5.5 units to the left and right of our center. And as far as exact coordinates go, it's 2 plus or minus that square root of 29, comma 0. All right, now for our equations of our asymptotes. Our asymptotes, because it is opening left and right, our value of a was 2, our value of b, the square root of 25 is 5. So we take y, if we look at point slope form, we have y minus the y coordinate of 0 equals plus or minus b over a, which is 5 over 2, times x minus the x coordinate of the center. And so simplifying that, we get y equals plus or minus 5 halves times the expression x minus 2. Now, we can actually separate this as 5 halves times x minus 2 and negative 5 halves times x minus 2. So when we look at the positive 5 halves slope, 5 halves times x minus 2, when we distribute that positive 5 halves to x minus 2, we get 5 halves x minus 5. When we distribute a negative 5 halves to the x minus 2, we get negative 5 halves to x plus 5. So our two asymptote equations are 5 halves x minus 5 and negative 5 halves x plus 5. Alright, that about does it for this video. I will see you next time.